So.
Afro Fish OG.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 28 of Afro in the Know. We are cruising. I'm not gonna lie, like we're almost at our season finale already. And today I got Mr. Kuma from Nerdy Bear Studios himself. How's it going, my guy?
It's good, man. It's good. It's good to be here. I'm glad I could finally make it to one of these. I'm excited.
I'm happy that you're here. Like it feels like it's been a long
time coming, right?
Was it like 5-6 months? It was like, damn, I'm gonna get this, and then like life went by,
right?
And shit happens.
Life be lifing, dude.
Dude, life, yeah, fuck yeah, life be lifing. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So. But I'm like I said, I appreciate you being here. I know this is like, I don't know if like an evening one. I was always worried like evening ones work or whatever. But like it seems that it's all gonna pan out. Actually, I was supposed to have another podcast beforehand, and actually that fell through. So I was like, okay, at least got one more. So it's all good. But for the people who are like who don't know, this usually I just let them have the floor, and it's just kind of I shut the fuck up. So cool. For everybody. Yeah, tell them what you're all about.
I'm a certified yapper, first and foremost, so I might be known to be told to shut up. But for those that don't know, I'm a game developer. Started out solo. I have a team. We're based here in Atlanta. Nerdy Bear Studios is the studio, and we function a little different. Our focus is on representation. That's kind of what pushed me into this industry. I love games. I wanted to make video games, but I know that specifically for Black folks, people of color, a lot of marginalized groups, like the stories, if we were included in those, we weren't writing them or creating them. So I come at, my development with that always in mind, first and foremost. Been in business since 2018. Before that, I'm classically trained software engineer, went to University of Georgia, then Arizona, graduated, got dual bachelors. So I do infrastructure engineering and software engineering for my day job, but I make video games at night. I'm like video game Batman, I guess.
That's definitely one way to look at it. That's interesting. So you're like went to Georgia, so you're a Bulldog, and then what is Arizona? What is Arizona's?
I don't know. I went virtual, so
you're in virtual. Like, is it? No, I'm gonna have to look it up. No, I feel like I know what it is, and it's gonna bother me now.
I should know this because I went to the school, but yeah, I was over it. I didn't care.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like, man, when it comes to colleges, like Georgia's a big one though too, isn't it? Yeah. Not? I just remember because like Georgia Bulldogs and like between sports and all that stuff, but
yeah,
I've never been able to check the actual. And what is what you got it up?
It is a Wildcat.
Wildcats. Oh my gosh.
There are two of them. There's Wilbur and Wilma.
Wilbur and Wilma. Okay, I didn't know that we had multiple. That's cool. You know what? Fuck it. That's cool. That's cool. So my being like, so when you say like working with like as a development. My question is like, where did that hit? Like that just get started? Was it just like one day you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, or it was just like you were playing a video game and you're like, I can do this better?
I think I always knew I wanted to be in this industry. I literally have books sitting around where I wrote the stories since probably like 9 years old. But when I actually took the leap, it was like a couple of years after I got married, and I was explaining my process, how I wanted to bring games to life. And essentially in this conversation with like me and my wife, she was like, just do it. Just whatever you're gonna do, just do it. Start it. Because I think in my mind it had to be some, double A or triple A perfection before,
Right.
I could start. Like I had to get the funding and all this stuff. But in 2018, that was the real conversation when it happened. It was October, I think 18th. I remember the date. And I was explaining, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to build a whole universe, different stories, different genres. And essentially that conversation with my wife, where she was just like, it's your dream, start. So I had never really, built a game solo. I knew what it took to like program, and that was it. That was my expertise, but I can't make music. I can't draw for crap. Like somebody had a gun to my head and told me, draw this anime character. It would come out like a stick figure, and I would, be a stain. But like, you just start somewhere. you just start somewhere.
No, and that's so true. I mean, for a lot of people, I think it's tough because there's something you mentioned there, like having this perfectionist. Like you have the perfect script, the perfect block, whatever it is. And I mean, from one person who writes to another, it's so not needed. Like
Yeah.
you just need to start. Your stuff is going. I think you have to come in with a expectation. Your stuff's kind of just going to be garbage
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and you have to be okay with that. Like you have to be okay with the progression.
Right. Right. Just used to saying like, yeah, that shit garbage, like hot trash. But it's okay. It doesn't have to stay that way. And that fear of failure is what eventually grows into beautiful games that you see today. Because I think I know the Hamsterdam that I put out, that's probably like the 15th iteration of that game. It
Right.
first was going to be like a mobile infinite runner,
Hmm.
which was actual trash. Like it was so boring to play. um and nothing, because I didn't have a team then. Like the music was standard, royalty free. All the assets were, not asset flips, but I just snatched them off of Unity and doctored them a little bit. But I'm like, nobody wants to play this shit. Like if I put this on market, people are gonna laugh, and it's fine. Let them laugh. But I had a small little test group, and now we're really close to the idea I had when I first wrote the story of Amsterdam.
Mhm.
So
No, and that's awesome. Like I think, like you mentioned, I mean, starting it off as just a runner, so you like a temple run kind of thing. Like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I can't complain. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
Like,
it was okay. So there's a game, and I forgot what it was. I think it's called Speed Limit. Speed Limit came out a little bit after it, but it was the closest idea I had to it. I wanted to switch from, it was going to be a infinite runner, but perspective shifting and also dimension shifting.
oh,
So yeah, going from 2D to 3D and different camera angles. So it wasn't Temple Run, but kind of. But it
okay.
also had other mechanics that I was going to implement. But still, it came out boring because, like, one, the shifting broke the game. I could never get that right. Um, and then two, once I got close to that prototype, like it just there was no challenge past that. And I think for anybody that played Temple Run, eventually it gets boring.
Mhm.
And I played Jetpack Joyride until the game was broken. And I think that era has passed for like infinite runners.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Like when I think of like the switch between 2D and 3D, I'm thinking of like Sonic does this. Like Sonic does
Yeah,
this a lot.
yeah.
But I was gonna say like that's the first thing I thought of was like the temple or that jetpack one because the one I always see at the with the Reddit posts behind it like the am I an asshole?
Yeah, yeah,
So I always see those,
yeah.
and when I'm sure like, and this could be I'm just kind of assuming is like when you first started and you're like, bro, this is a lot more than I thought. Like like I mean, did it give you like kind of a different like outlook for like when you see like devs making some of these like some of these bigger devs making these like other kind of games where you're just like, holy shit, like there's a lot that goes into this. Like, did it seem overwhelming at first?
I had a picture in my head because I didn't hop directly into this. I started with Nintendo, so
Mhm.
like the the expectation was there, but I thought that you know I could grow into what I needed. But when you realize how much that's actually needed, and it's not like you can go, call another person in a department that is their expertise. You literally have to either hire somebody or learn that trade.
Mhm.
Then it's like, oh crap, you know. Um, and you kind of navigate that as an indie studio. It's like you hire,
Was
you
that
learn
nervous? Was that nervous at all? Like when you're hiring the first time?
a little bit because you want to pay your people right. And it's like I pay out of pocket. I don't have grants or loans or anything like that. So it's like
Right.
your reputation is all you have as a new guy in the industry. So it's like
Mm,
you don't want somebody running a glass door and be like, "Yeah, Kuma is shit. He pays like pennies on the dollar. Like, don't work for this guy. He's ass."
that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah,
Like, and that's why one thing I've always wondered because, like, as a person who, I mean, maybe one day I would like to learn how to like write for video games too. Like, I want to
mhm,
learn how to write across the board. Like, whether it's a short story, whether it's a novel, a screenplay, all that other kind of stuff. Like, I want my stuff to take off in all different directions,
yeah.
right? But like, and I've always wondered that, like, is from working as kind of the head of the project, like the people underneath, like how do you manage them, like how, like, because I know managing from like working in a factory, but I know it's different than working working in the gaming.
The thing is, like, you don't know your leadership style until you're in it. You know what makes sense, and like being a worker, like what's fair and what's not. But protecting your company and protecting your people at the same time. It's a real weird thing to balance. I know for me, um, you always protect what you built, but move ethically. That way your people don't feel like they ever have to, sidestep. And also it protects you from people that have other intentions, like who want to come in, um, you know, for example, like I had an artist, I can talk about this because fuck that guy. I had an artist that was double dipping. Essentially, he would submit work for character models,
Mhm.
and then he would take those and put them on Gumroad and then sell them like as a freelance
Oh,
artist. Yeah.
yeah, no.
But me as busy as I am, I would never find out. But the people that he worked with did, and was like, "Hey, this looks real close to such and such," and then do a little digging. It's the same person. It's like, "Oh, why are you doing this, man?" Like, I thought you believed in what we had going here, but you can't expect people to put as much in your dream as you're putting into,
That's
especially
fair.
if they're just here for the cash.
Right. No, and that's very, very true. I mean, not everybody's gonna, yeah, like you mentioned, not everyone's gonna have the same intentions, and I think that it's just gotta be disappointing. Like, it's just kind of like, I mean, one, that's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, but like, it's just kind of like, damn, bro, come on, like, why are you being this way? Um, but I know that's just how people are. Like, granted, like most other jobs,
Yeah.
but it's still. And working on your project for how long now?
So I started 2018, and I count those first 2 years as kind of like growing pains because
Hmm.
I started solo, and a lot of the projects that I have, there are in our warehouse, there are 5 in-house game projects. There's one co-produced game project, and then there's 2 animation projects that we're all working on simultaneously now. But that whole scope didn't that didn't come overnight. It was literally make our first game, and I think our first game that I wanted to make was just like a beat 'em up brawler 90s thing, and that
Oh, those are
evolved into
fun.
yeah, that evolved into what is going to be in the 90s, which is now like an action RPG. style game. So that beat 'em up, the spirit is still there, but we expanded the story.
Mm.
Shout out to the writers room because they took my nonsense and actually made it coherent. Yeah.
No, and I mean that's also helpful though too, is that you have the team around you as well.
Yeah.
So like when y'all were writing it, because I mean obviously like I'm not gonna lie, like I said, as someone who writes myself, I'm always interested. So when y'all were writing it and you're all like in that, I'm assuming in like kind of a writer's room going over it, what is that like being in there?
Now or like in the
Both.
ideation?
When
Okay.
you yeah, when you first started and then how it is now.
So, like I said before, it was the musings of a 9-year-old child that I had to revisit and make sense of because I wanted these worlds that I grew up in to be like the most pure versions of themselves. Um, I took those and I spun them into stories that I knew people could latch on to easily and see themselves in. And that was my first, without a team or anything, that was my first idea is make this as relatable as possible and set these in settings that are really important to black folks, like that you could see yourself in like a northern kind of metropolis or a southern, small town. Make a black princess story, where what does that look like? I think I put a post out like not too long ago, like asking the question because I asked it a million times, what does a black princess story look like?
Mhm.
Um, and going over these creations a million times in my head and then working backwards from where I wanted the stories to end to the beginning.
Mm.
So I think that was my process. And then when I had a team, it's like 8 different writers, 8 different backgrounds, and answering it's more questions as to how that makes sense. Why this character does this, why this ends this way, and connecting the dots, and
Mhm.
then actually having like a thought out story. And they take that and then they perfect, episode by episode until we reach the conclusion. But we have to keep in mind the conclusion of one story is not the end because all five of these games are a shared universe. So it's like, okay, we have to keep in mind that Detective Fatback that shows up in Amsterdam is not the same Detective Fatback in the 90s. Like he's 50 years older. He's gonna make, gruffer decisions. He's pissed off at the world because he's seen so much more. He's a young man in the beginning of our universe, and like now he's an old man. So it's just all of these different things, moving parts.
Mhm.
Shout out to Airtable for keeping our workflow good. But you ask what it's like, it's usually a Discord call and anywhere from 8 to 10 people yelling at each other.
Duh.
Uh, because we're a pretty passionate group, and I think that um, it's all done in love, and this as much is their baby as it is mine. Um, it's kind of beautiful to see where it is now because it was uncomfortable for a really long time. Um, you know,
Like uncomfortable with like just letting people know what your goal was.
letting go of the reins as a creator, I don't think anybody is ever really comfortable with that, whether that's putting something on the shelf, bringing somebody new in and giving them free liberty to say, fix this. I trust you. I trust your craft. I
That's
know
fair.
what you can do, you know, and I'm not that guy that this story needs, that this universe needs. So I'm trusting you. That's that's a very scary place to be in, but it's needed.
Mhm.
Um, because I don't want to turn out to be like the Tyler Perry of video gaming. Like that's that's not, and he lives up the road. Tyler, love you, but like I'm not. I open my writers' room early to Black women.
Mm.
I have a game called Games for Black Girls. So what do I know about that? You know.
That's true.
Um,
If you don't, definitely that's. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know enough about Tyler Perry, but I've heard things. So I've heard things both good and bad. Um, But no, I do agree that it is, and I think even just as as a writer in general, just you have something so near and dear. This is, I know, like I mentioned before, with like asking an editor, and like I've had friends read it and they're like, "Oh, it's good," and all this, and I'm like, I don't trust you. Like
Yeah,
I thank you, but I don't trust you.
right.
you know. But
I-
it's like when you bring it to someone who's like completely third party neutral,
yeah,
it is. It's a little terrifying. Because like you're always like, what are they gonna say? Like, are they, I've met people who are very, very good, people who have just, this is garbage, fuck this. Like I also learned the hard way, don't put your shit on Reddit. So like, I don't know why I did that when like in my like early 20s, and I'm still recovering.
that is a good conversation to have, especially if you're just writing stories of fiction, that's one thing. But I think, if you're writing anything with that includes marginalized voices, you got to be careful what venue. Like, I can't be talking about deep thinking pieces on TikTok. There's no way.
No.
Um, and I think that as long as you're having the conversation and including those voices, it's going to naturally progress that way. But like 4chan, Reddit,
Mhm.
the deep, not deep, those aren't deep, but like those kind of subset of places, maybe not the best.
No, and
um,
that's fair.
yeah,
That's very fair because I know, like for myself, I'll use myself for an example.
yeah,
Is like when I wrote my first my the story right now is called "Dinner for Two, Flyboy," and it's a story about a guy who is probably he's in his 30s. Um, he's a superhero. He's in his 30s, and he's getting set up on a blind date by his like super rich friend. And he's like, I don't know if I'm even good enough to be here. Like, and because he's like, I'm a he's a an everyday guy,
yeah,
he's the everyday
yeah,
guy. He is, and he's in this high rise, like Tony Stark like place. Um, and you know, the person he ends up meeting is a person who was a supervillain. She was a supervillain at one point, and she has since, between going to prison, came back, has reflected, has tried to move on. And as they talk, you learn about, her, how she progressed from it. And but also there's other characters who they're still hurt over the damage that is done,
right,
that she's done. And so, I was looking at this as just a way to say, hey, this is people. I looked at it as people who recover. I got a friend of mine who went to prison. He came back from prison, and like he's doing better. I mean, we still work through stuff. It's not a perfect, chain, but I kind of like it. That's what she kind of reminded me of a bit,
yeah,
was of him as I was writing it. Is just a person who has changed, has like reflected on what she's done, and now is like facing someone from her past,
mm,
that she might not have even known,
yeah,
and so like it was a fun thing to write. I was like, when I don't know about you, when I get in the zone of writing, it's just like that's it. Like
yeah.
nothing takes me out of it. Um, but it was a fun experience. Like it was a fun experience and stuff. And that's the one I'm sending over. And so, when y'all are, when y'all have like, when I think of like this writer's room and all that, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I was like, my
It's you described this feeling, and I love being in love with that. The intoxicating, all-consuming creation spirit. Like, it just washes over you, and like that's all you want to live in and thrive in. Um, and that's why I think, those rooms become so passionate, because it's almost like, it's kin to being a kid again, where you get to create this thing, and it's so beautiful. It's so, you know, there's nothing like it. I can't really describe like what creating a game really feels like to this scope,
Mhm.
because another thing for game development, when people say, one, stop calling game developers gamers. Can we do that? Because can we move away from that? I'm sorry, because you have not done that, but it's just a common thing where people meet me and they like what I do, and then they introduce me to their friends. It's like, oh yeah, he's the gamer, and I'm like,
Okay.
no,
It's like it's very similar to like if you're like a mechanic and you're like, this guy likes cars, and you're like, okay, like
it's just a pet peeve of mine, and I don't know when it started or why. I just know, especially like with some of the black folks that around this way, it's just, oh yeah, that little game thing, like
that feels like a slight, like it's not just slight.
The shade, man. Like, but anyway, I digress.
Like,
does it have to be low? But no, I think when you get in that world, and you're doing your thing in multi places, whether it's the writer's room or you're in a convention or you're pitching, like that passion comes with you in everything you do, and people see that and get excited, and what we're creating. 5 games is not a small task. Different genres, different stories. I think we have 26 or 28. I always mix them up. 100 characters in our universe, like across all stories. Yeah. So just imagine like literally creating a world that gigantic, and it's a tremendous undertaking. But I think to do what I set out to do, this is what it needs to be. And I haven't moved from that scope. I haven't grown or shrank. It's just, this is the story. These are the games. Because they all address different things, like in the community, like over policing, neurodivergence, things like that. And it's not pushing it down your throat. It's just part of the narrative. Right. And I think, that kind of nuance hasn't really been approached, because bottom line, like, it's important to me. I want to make money, but I think the stories are what's pushing this along more than profit.
Right. For now. And of course you obviously want to keep it that way as much as possible.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that, because there is nuance to storytelling. And I think not everybody also understands that. Not everybody is good enough to understand that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not calling people dumb. I'm just saying that, like, there's a lot of people who just don't fully understand reading comprehension. They don't understand what they're actually looking into, and it's good to put it in a way that is, like you said, with nuance, but is also digestible for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever, at the time then, when you are working on a story and like you're working in your writer's room, does it ever feel like a time where you have to kind of dumb down what you're trying to tell because you're trying to fit it to an audience?
All the time, because I think people want to inject themselves to what they understand. And also you have to realize, like, your ability to gauge a room is crucial, because when it comes to gaming, there's always trolls. There's always going to be trolls.
Yeah.
But then there are also people that only care about that one thing you said about your game. One really hot topic that came up that when asked, I didn't have the question for it. I wasn't prepared. But Games for Black Girls, our second entry, they were saying, okay, that you're uplifting Black women's voices, and you focus on marginalized groups. Well, are you going to tell the story of young Black trans women growing up? And I hadn't thought about that. I've included in my universe, voice actresses, writers that have that lived experience, but I had to sit back and digest and look at what that looked like, because I don't know that lived experience, but it's part of representation.
Yes.
So therefore it's important how we're going to do this. So, taking that back, talking with folks, hiring, people to tell us story. Because in that game, that's how we include a lot of voices. I think we have 150 Black women from all different walks of life tell us stories that are important to them, and then we take those into playable trials in the game, almost akin to, think of like Pokemon, but like instead of capturing monsters, you're going through and capturing like the protective spirits of these women. and they become like guardians for the main character, Wendy. So, in that vein, that's how I chose to decide and show representation, literally taking their voices and putting them in the games as trials. But it's just the dumbing down portion. It really just depends, because people honestly sometimes only want to see themselves. There's always going to be somebody that's like, oh, we could have did this better, or you could have did this different. This sucks, because they don't understand. And you can explain a million different times until your face is blue. But for the most part, like when it comes to nuance, your work generally speaks for yourself. Like if you put in the time, the care, like they're gonna see that. But we don't have a million years to make the perfect game. We could just make this game and put it out. Unless somebody wants to toss me a cool million or two, then it's like, gotcha.
Like, I'm not saying no, and that's fair. Like, it is. It's when it comes to, like you said, getting voices heard, and that's interesting. That as a question, you're just like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. I like that a lot. So I know also, besides not just the game development, because you're also pretty active on TikTok. Especially I've seen when you do the guess the cartoons.
Yeah,
that shit goes hard for me. First time I walked into I was like, I'm gonna go pop in and see what they're about. And I'm like, I'm got like 200 some people just sitting in there. Like they are hell bent on being able to figure it out. I'm not gonna lie, I can't figure it out with shit. Like I stayed in there one time. I was like, I went through after like being in there for like maybe like 20 minutes, and I was like, I have no clue what the fuck is going on. Like I'm so bad at this. These are cartoons I have no clue of.
I mean, I think that's akin to me just being obsessive. It might be a little touch of autism when it comes to like my obsession when it comes to animation and games. Mm-hmm. Because the way I have over this 38-year existence absorbed such useless knowledge. And I think that's what draws people, draws crowd. I make it, as much of a safe space as I can for all generations, because I grew up on literally all generations of animation.
Right.
So I can respect why Gen Z likes Has Been Hotel the same way your great granddad or granddad loves Camp Candy. Like all of these animations, they just swim around all day up here. So it's like I'm literally an unofficial student of animation. Like I did not go to school to study animation software engineer, but at the same time, like I literally learned techniques for my craft as well. Like what looks good animating this character, what looks good from this era, and drew inspiration from that. And I think my passion for that just draws people in, because there's like, how does he know all of these? How does he know? And then, a lot of them I get recommended from the crowd. They're like, oh, this is a good one. I bet you don't know this. And it's, every time I'm like, there's a gift. If you want to quiz me, if you really think you're about to put your money where your mouth is, send the gift. And they come up and they can't stump me. And I think that's the thing that keeps drawing it in. Like maybe once or twice there's been a cartoon named that I just have not heard of. There was a Cheers cartoon. I remember actually one of them. There was a Cheers cartoon, and I had no idea it was a thing. The Fonz had his own cartoon. And it was him and this alien that comes out of nowhere. She's a time traveling alien. Her name is Cupcake. That was something. And him, his dog, and some other crew, they just go through time trying to get back home with this alien lady named Cupcake, and it was a Cheers cartoon.
Huh. I did what was that? There was a podcast, not a podcast, a cartoon. Tales from the Crypt. I never knew Tales from the Crypt actually had a cartoon.
Yeah.
Right. I remember, I swear I saw an episode, but it was like one of those where I saw the episode and I didn't remember anything about it. Because I was like, I don't think that that's not real. Like it was just like I don't know. And then I was like, all of a sudden, someone mentioned it. Like I think it was like last week or something, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, it did. I was like, you jogged the memory back.
Yeah,
but it is true. Like I like seeing like animation change. I look back at like one of my favorite things that I noticed, and maybe this was a touch of autism, was like I never understood in like the old like Hanna-Barbera, they always raise their heads when they talk.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, gang, we have to go
Yeah.
stop the creeper. Like, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like
Yeah. Scooby-Doo was notorious for it. That formula was notorious for it. You know, you go to like Yogi and maybe the Smurfs sometimes, but like where you have the five kids plus the animal or whatever it is formula, I don't know. They're just like, are you nodding to me? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if this is like I think Fred's giving a
Fred.
sign. Oh, Daphne's doing it too. That might be a sign for help. Like, you know, so it is. It's so weird. The way that they made the animation style, and then even in I swear it happens a couple times in Spider-Man, like the animated series. There's a couple
Like
times
90s animated?
Yes, where he'll kind of do the head nod thing. It's not very often, but I swear I do remember. I could be wrong though, but like I do remember it. And I love that style. Like I love that early 90s to early 2000s style.
Yeah.
The look and everything. I used to like. I'm not gonna lie. I started feeling old when they put it on Boomerang. They put like Justice League on Boomerang, and I sat there and I was like, what the fuck? And I would just watch like religiously, like because they would just play all the episodes just in order. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like I loved it. Like the Batman ones was great, but like Justice League was like my shit. Like that was like 110% my shit. Whether it was because I don't know. I'm a big sucker for superheroes. I think a lot of people.
No, me too. Like my favorite Disney movie is definitely The Incredibles. All day. Before The Incredibles, I think it was Hercules, Lion King ish. But it's just something about being more than human, but still human.
That's why I love Superman so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why I love Superman so much.
Oh, I hate Superman.
I love him,
bro.
I love Superman. I do. No, I'm not happy with how Zack Snyder did it. That's not a Superman that I can get down with.
Yeah.
But like I saw the new one for 2025 one, and I loved that one.
Yeah. I feel like that's more true. It shows him failing, right?
Yes.
And it makes him not like he doesn't punch his way through he tries, but
I mean, and like in this one, like he's much more emotionally intelligent, almost to like a fault. There's a moment in the movie where there's obviously it's in the trailer, but like where him and Lois are going back and forth over what he did over in I forgot what the place is. It's like a fictional country, kind of similar to like the Middle East.
Yeah.
And like, where what he's talking about, like it makes sense. A person like that, I'm just gonna go and do what I need to do to help them out. Like there shouldn't be like why are there laws and regulations on just trying to help someone? Which I don't know for anybody else who doesn't fucking get this. This is literally like the Sokovia Accords. But like,
yes, yeah,
so like it makes sense. Like it's just like sometimes when you help people, this is just what you do. And yes, like he's kind of naive to it, like he's kind of arrogant to it, so it makes sense that he's going to kind of really fuck up, but there's a moment where she says something about how she's not good at relationships, and he comes in like he wants to say something, but he just realized that's just not the right time. That's not the right time to say anything,
right?
And that's maturity. Like that's maturity. Like the first time we see him snap a little bit is when you mess with his dog, which I mean, fair. Like if anybody messed with my dog, like I'm going fucking full Rambo. Like that's fair. Like don't mess with someone's dog, and until you find out whose dog it actually is, and that's probably that's like that's why. But
if you had to choose ultimate version of Superman, like your favorite one.
It's the Superman from like the
animated series,
Yep, the animated series, and throughout because they're both the same,
right?
But through the Justice League as well. That is my version. That's why like that's the same. My favorite version of Batman is the same version, like
Yeah.
that version from there. I love one of my favorite things ever is watching Batman help his villains. Like whether it's trying to help out someone, even if they don't want to be like, hey, just like stop yourself for a second. You know, what he did with Clayface, or what he does with he does the same thing with Two-Face. You know,
Yeah.
does the same thing with Two-Face. He helped out Harley the one day where she's like, why, you know, why do you even help out someone like me? And he's like, I've had a bad day before too. And like that's huge. Like I love that. Like that's that little bit that like makes them just it makes me feel good. It really does. Because my heroes are more than just punching.
That's
You
fair.
know.
That's fair. I think the archetype is something that I just never identified with. I always like heroes that are STEM based, you know, like your Hulks or Mr. Fan, like Reed Richards, you know, Mr. Fantastic. I mean, not Mr. Fantastic, well, yes, Mr. Fantastic, but also Mr.
Doom?
Terrific.
Oh, terrific.
Um, those just spoke to me because, like, yeah, well, you have the Hulk that literally can smash his way through the cosmos, depending on what versions. Um, but you have that duality to them, right? There's intelligence, there's science, and some of the stories told are really, really, really interesting. So we're not to say Superman doesn't, but like when I see his feats and people brag on like the biggest feat Superman does, it literally just seems like plot armor.
And that's
Um,
the thing. And that's why I think I think my respect for him comes from his soft moments.
Mm.
You know, because Superman is, at least in my opinion, what I've always envisioned Superman and what I've always seen from those. Superman's the type of person who would literally stop what he's doing because he sees a couple kids just going and playing basketball and decides to go play with them.
Yeah.
You know, that's who Superman is. Like he's just a person who just wants to help. And you know, I mean, it's not like he's made of money. You know, I mean, they kind of rip on it. I think in Batman v Superman when he's like on a reporter's salary, they think they do the same thing in the crossover series too.
Yeah,
they make a comment about how he's like, you have a reporter's salary. Like, he's like, how can you afford this? You know, and I think that's interesting. That's always interesting. Like John Stewart was always an interesting one to me. Like he's my version of Green Lantern. That is my Green Lantern.
Definitely.
You know, and speaking of which, you know, I always talk about Static. Static was everything. Like Static was everything to me. It changed me. I know it changed me. I mean, it changes a lot.
It did a lot just to see him have his own show, his own story, his own narrative, and it wasn't, you know, he wasn't a sidekick or an alternative as people would like a Miles Morales. I think is the most popular now. Like, of course, he is Spider-Man, but like when people talk about Miles, like they say Miles, they don't say Spider-Man, and I think that's for obviously other reasons, you know, racism. But like, I think, you know, Static literally having his own line of comics and then seeing that being brought to life and then done well. You know, it competed with other, you know, greats of that era where like we were sitting down just as excited to watch Static Shock as like, I don't know for you, but for me, you know, if Static was on, and I think I don't know who he shared time slots with. I think, you know, it was
that like 2002, 2003, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he really other superheroes, I don't think he well, it was Justice League into Justice League Unlimited. Until Unlimited. So they did have like kind of, I want to say like competition really with it, but that was the only one. But I mean, Justice League Unlimited is a fantastic show. But then, you know, it also led to, I mean, I think one of the most underrated shows, and that's The Batman. 2004's The Batman was, I thought it was, I liked it when I was younger. And I think there was a few reasons. One, I thought it was really just cool. I like the animation. Two, I like how they did some of the villains. Like one, Joker with the dreads, I love it. Like Joker with dreads.
It fits. Like I don't
And
know
then,
what it is,
and then
but
Kevin
like,
Michael Richardson playing the Joker.
yeah,
And it's just so it matches it so well. Also, a
yeah,
Joker who can fight. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love a Joker who can fight. There was some versions of these characters that I love their style, but I don't like their substance. Like, for example, like Mr. Freeze. Freeze is just pretty fucking basic. Like he's
he's
super
pretty
basic.
linear.
Yes.
Yeah,
Firefly is the same way, even though Firefly is like he's not that's not what I think of when I think of Firefly. Like I think of like almost like a flying rust bucket, lighting up everything, but he has
yeah,
this like future tech. I think he was played by James Marsden too. So like
yeah.
it's but like between Catwoman, Clay. I actually like the whole thing with Clayface, being Bruce's friend, Ethan Bennett.
Hmm.
So he was
It's been a
another
while since I watched it, so
yeah, so yeah, it's amazing. I have an amazing memory for the most useless shit. So like but yeah, so like Ethan Bennett was a cop along with Detective Yin,
okay.
and I believe Ethan got kidnapped by Joker, and then he started like trying to hypnotize Ethan Bennett. And when during their like scuffle, part of like Joker's like he had this like putty like thing where he could shoot it out of his flower,
Flower, yeah,
and then so he sniffed in some of the gas, and it slowly started morphing his body. And Ethan was just a person that couldn't ever seem to get over it, which fair. But like if you turn me into like a walking mud monster, like I'm pretty sure I don't think I can get over it.
I'm
But
kind of holding a grudge.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like, and that's the thing. Like every as much as he would try to get over it, he couldn't.
yeah.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, best version of Killer Croc. Killer Croc, one, hyper intelligent, basically just a straight up alligator at that point. They kind of ditched the whole like monster kind of thing.
Right.
Southern accent, like just the like Louisiana, like Bayou Southern accent. And I'm like, I don't care what this is. This is the coolest sounding Killer Croc we've had. And like,
He looks kind of cool as hell. He looks like, I don't know. He almost looks akin to like the lizard. Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he does. Death Battle. Why haven't you done the Lizard versus Killer Croc yet? Like, I'm just saying, like, you guys do all these other ones I disagree with. So like,
Go ahead and throw that in the bucket.
throw that in there too. Like,
Yeah.
no,
I'm
I
looking
say,
at Static Shock's competition, and some of these weren't great. Like you had Atlantis. Yeah. But you also had X-Men Evolution, so there we go.
ooh,
Yeah. Jackie Chan Adventures.
Jackie Chan Advantage. Jackie Chan Adventures happened to just start showing up on my For You page, and I've been like watching like clippets of it, and I found like
Yeah.
you can just find like full episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm just like, this is so wild. This shit is so fucking wild.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. One of my favorite, like, I love how they couldn't actually show someone getting hit. So they had to like flash like a white light. And I'm like, y'all just were like, hey, we don't want to have kids see people get hit, so we're just gonna give them epilepsy instead.
Yeah. I mean, that was a popular choice back then. You had Pokemon a couple years back, with the Porygon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was there was like several kids,
Yeah.
wasn't there?
Yeah,
There was like multiple kids sent to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then Teen Titans did that a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, with pretty much all their characters, including Crash Out Robin. So like
Now that we're on Warner, I'm curious to ask this question because I live in animation all day. Netflix,
yeah.
the purchase.
Yeah.
You think we'll get all the things we've been hung up on, like Nemesis system, or
No.
even some of the animation? No,
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to care as much about when it comes to like their gaming side. They're going to be much more. I think Netflix is going to be much more like narrow with what they want to put out. We might get another Lord of the Rings, but like for example, I was excited for that Wonder Woman game.
Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman deserves a fucking game.
Yeah.
Like holy hell, why is it taking so long? Like but I don't think we're going to get it. And, we didn't. It got canceled, and then like you could possibly try to bring it back. Like I don't know. Like to me, it always bothers me like that. But I don't think it's going to happen. The only thing I can see Warner Brothers dropping in terms of game wise is like Hogwarts Legacy 2. But like their other stuff, I guess maybe another Arkham something.
Hmm.
But they're gonna keep it minimal as possible. And then when you come to the theatrical releases, I don't think they already said they're not gonna keep them as long. So like they're not so they can throw them on their streaming services. And Warner Brothers is so huge that it encompasses many different shows, many different franchises. So it's just like, and I believe, like I said, including Warner Brothers, I think has DC. So like it's just like in terms of us wanting like a new DC, like how they're trying to do this DC universe. Now I've seen people now be like, oh, they're gonna bring back Zack Snyder's universe. No, the fuck they're not.
No.
You know why they're not? Because Rebel Moon. Okay. Because Rebel Moon. Have you watched Rebel Moon? Because I watched Rebel Moon. Yeah. I watched Rebel Moon 1 and I watched Rebel Moon 2. Like,
yeah.
I was frustrated.
I'm always on the cusp of trying to be a futurist and seeing where I could say I told you so. And I think Netflix has been dabbling in trying to get into gamification of their platform in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't think we'll get what we had, but I do think we'll get what nobody asked for. And I think we're going to get a lot of that. Because with the purchase of like EA and like we're seeing major shifts in players in the game. Turner going overseas with Cartoon Network and some of their animation studios. Like we're really seeing a lot of shifts. So I think to stay relevant, like they're kind of the big player. Them versus Disney is kind of the conversation. I think when it comes to gaming, I don't think we'll get AAA. I think we'll get a lot of like smaller, like, hey, we just came out with this series, but we also have this game.
Oh yeah,
I know
the rise of the movie-based games again.
Right, like I know personally, for a while, Aaron Magruder was shopping around for a game. He wanted to make a game, and now that is part of this acquisition. So I see that being on the rise. The Boondocks was part of the acquisition. I see that being on the rise because people are still kind of hungry for Boondocks. Yeah. And Netflix does listen to what people want. So they'll dip their toe in the water, and that would be part of that. That would be part of that. Now, what that looks like, I don't know in a format, but hopefully it's just not awful movie-based games like.
Maybe I don't know what we get, and that's what worries me is like, I don't like, and I didn't know much. I have to do more research into everything that's included and like all the little statements and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I just go off a base of like just I tell people this is my gut instinct. I still want to check in more to go see more about it because I don't want to like, oh my god, it's the worst thing in the world. But like I was in when I was doing a live last night, and I did mention that I was like, at some point I'm like, my gut instinct tells me this is a bad idea. Like this, like my brain don't know how to really compensate it or compartmentalize or whatever the fuck is. Yeah, I can't think of the word right now. Holy shit. But comprehend. Thank you. Like I'm searching through it. Like my brain's searching through the files of words, and it's like I gave up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just my gut instinct tells me this is not going to be a positive, and like the more that these bigger Amazon and everyone are just trying to scoop up all this stuff, it's really going to start to affect the games that we actually get, the quality of games that we get.
Yeah.
I think it's going to, and I want to be positive and say that like they could make good stuff out of it, and there's always a possibility, but I just don't know. Like I don't like the fact of like moving, big things. Like let's say like we're gonna get the Supergirl movie, right? Supergirl movie. I'm excited for that. And
Yeah.
like we're gonna lose the Supergirl movie, and because it's only gonna be out there for like what, maybe a month, not even,
Yeah.
you know, and then that's it. Like, and then it goes it goes straight to streaming. Okay, so then you're literally like killing the fucking theatrical industry.
It's been on a decline for a really long time. I was sitting with a close friend um, that moved from LA here because, there's 30 minutes up the road. There's two different big studios that always had filming. So I got her insight. She's a stunt woman. What do you think is, because I know as far as gaming and animation, I know kind of what's going on, but do you think, movies in Hollywood look like? And she's like, it's dead. You go to the WB lot, and when they're filming something, we're the only ones there. There's not WB here, WB in LA.
Right.
But here there's a few TV shows filming, and that's it. Georgia's economy is tanking when it comes to entertainment because they didn't renew a lot of the contracts. So when I see things like this and major shifts in hands of players, it's almost like I know what we're leading to, and it's a renaissance. It's going to be a renaissance because I smell a crash coming. There's just too much going on. I feel like WB was purposely tanking their projects to sell low balls, so probably they can, when things crash, buy it back for even lower.
Probably.
And this is just me just researching how businesses have operated in the past, and this seems like that kind of situation. But just seeing how it is now, and like on the movie side and production side, and seeing that things are almost a former shell, like Hollywood. And I hear this from a lot of people, voice actors, stunt people. Hollywood's dead right now.
So that makes me think then, like, do you think that we're gonna see the more like, okay, so like the success of a show like Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel, right?
Mhm.
Like, the personal opinions on what they are aside, do you think we're gonna be seeing more of those then? Because they can start looking at these indie animators, indie projects for, I'm assuming, and I'm not, I'm just assumptions. I'm assuming cheaper than they could a bigger studio. They already have everything filled. I just gotta produce it at this point. You already have everything done.
Yeah.
I don't gotta worry about it. And once we get to, like, let's say a season 2 or whatever, then we can start working about the stuff more. But until that time, you already got everything. Like, you already have the designs, you have everything else. I just got to replicate it and put it on the screen. And so I'm not making less over. I'm making more because you already did most of the work.
My industry opinion, you're going to see two parties forming right now in the, let's say, 5 to 10 year, radius, or no, I'm blanking on words. 5 to 10 year span, right? The talent that you pushed out, all the layoffs, all the animators, all the quality top tier people that know the industry, they're going to form their own. You're going to see a lot more indie and AA, small to medium teams, small to medium projects creating. That's where we're going to get our revolution of animation, games, projects, film, things like that. For the people that have the money, they're going to play it safe. We're going to see an era of sequels, safe sequels. Okay, this is where we get Batman every 2 years. Things like that. I see, K-pop Demon Hunters. Who would have thought?
That's incredible to me. Like, I never would have thought that it would have popped off as much as it did.
Yeah. But people are hungry for good animation. So a halfway decent story, people that put care into, creating something halfway good, they're going to invest, and you're going to see all this merch. You're going to see, they're going to pop up in Fortnite. They're going to milk that until they can't anymore. They're going to make sequels, spin-offs. I think that's the era we're in. I don't think we're going to see a lot of new IPs unless somebody has a breakout hit from like an indie creator, but from the people that have money, the Hollywood, it's not like, 10 years ago where they would throw money at a big project and you see these mega blockbusters. I don't see that in the next 5 to 10 years.
No, yeah. No, I don't either.
So if I had to guess, and that's movies, that's
because video games do that right now. I mean, we're seeing that right now. Like a lot of the big game or big companies are bringing typically in, these either remasters or sequels to, like, let's say Death Stranding or something like that. And then the indie style games are where you're seeing everything else. That's where the creativity shines, and that's, I think we've, at least with gaming wise, and I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think gaming wise, we are slowly coming to the acceptance of indie productions, indie games are where you go to find your creativity.
Yeah.
And I think we might see that with TV shows and stuff like that too. Like I said, the reason why I use Has Been is it Vox Machina? There's another one like that too, where it's where we're gonna see these indie works because it makes more sense to me. This group already has stuff done, it's already on the move. I just need to find a place to go basically set it up. And companies are gonna do that. Also, I mean, maybe this is just me too. I talked about this on my last podcast, seeing more video game movies, because video game movies are still a thing. I mean, Nintendo's been sitting on some of their biggest franchises for how many fucking years? And so, like, I would like. I guess my question to you is: would you like to see more video game movies, and if so, which movies or which video games?
I'll have to dig through my posts. I made a post around the time Detective Pikachu came out, and I said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what I said, but basically the curse is broken, and now that they see that video game movies pull in a crowd, we are going to see a flood of that. And after that, I hadn't read about any announcements. Sonic, Super Mario, F1.
F1?
Was it F1 or?
Oh no, Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo, Twisted Metal, that sad attempt at Drake's fortune. Uncharted, Borderlands. All of these began to flood because people were buying up the rights and IPs to try to make this. I believed with the wane of superhero movies, video games were the next intelligent step, and I've been proven right.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same. Superheroes are formulaic, and there's some people that once they hear like superheroes, they tune out. Video games are different because you can have a Call of Duty that's realistic, based like a wartime shooter, but then you can also have like a Super Mario or Five Nights at Freddy's.
Speaking of Five Nights.
Yeah. So I think that's the next horizon that they're going to exhaust. And they have like an endless material because they know if they put a little bit more money into it, not like what was it? I was gonna say Ron Jeremy, good Lord. Not that the old 80s Super Mario, kids don't look that up. The old 80s Super Mario movie that nobody speaks of. They've learned their lesson. Nintendo's learned their lesson. Like,
well, they didn't. Wasn't it right after that? They were like, I can't wait to beat up some Dodongos. Like Nintendo, bro. Like I respect the creativity, but I don't respect the product.
We had to go through it. We had to go through like more. I don't care what nobody says. You can fight me on this. Mortal Kombat was good. The first Mortal Kombat movie was solid. People say it's cheesy and corny, but
that was the 90s. The 90s were cheesy and corny. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm just saying, like, that's why when we got this my dog. Like, so when we got this Mortal Kombat, we're getting the other one coming up too. I'm thinking like this is where we get the the better, more stylized.
Yeah.
Carl Urban playing
Mhm,
Johnny
mhm.
Cage, and I'm like,
Yep.
oh my god! Like at first I was like,
Yeah.
I can't, but then I'm like, this motherfucker is great. Like he plays whatever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you know, I think because there's so many video game mascots that can be made. Especially because animation's a thing. Like animation's a thing. Like, come on. Like to me, I'm like, I mean, to be fair, like I was talking about someone saying, like we were talking about the Metroid, and I was like, I just don't want to see an animated. Or I don't know if I want to see an animated Metroid. I wouldn't mind like a 3D-ish kind of anime like style of Metroid. I don't care much for live action, but I can see them doing live action. I just don't care much for it because there's Samus does so much that it's hard to just put him in live action. Um, but at the
What
same
if
time,
they
hmm,
gave the care of like a Marvel, like an Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3 style,
I
not
could
style, but the budget and care they put into that?
then yes, I can see it. I could see that being like a live action. But then I joked about how if Illumination gets it, I'm gonna get Metroid minions and I'm gonna snap like I will walk out of that room so quick. But
Banana.
like I'm like, nah, I'm done. um, but I feel like when when I look at these like other games becoming movies, obviously, like Sly Cooper is still could be. I mean, we literally have a trailer. It just
Yeah.
didn't happen. Like, hey, we're still working on this. It's only been almost 10 years, but hey, whatever. Um, you have what's the other one? Like the Jack and Daxter games. I don't want another Ratchet and Clank movie. But like I saw that one. I was the only one in theaters, and I felt awful when I left. Um, F-Zero or no, I'm sorry, F-Zero. F-Zero, I mentioned before, F-Zero, Star Fox, Bomberman, Beautiful Joe, like Spyro, Crash, Parappa the Rapper. I would You have no idea how much fun I think that would be.
What would that even be like is the question. It's like,
I
you know what?
I
Never
don't
mind.
care. Want it.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't
Like,
even matter.
could you imagine it's like a cross between, like it'd be like K-pop, but then have like Parappa the Rapper trying to enter like a K-pop tournament and he's not doing it. So he's like, after everything, he goes back to like his onion master and he's like trying to learn it. It'd be so ridiculous. I think I would watch it. Rayman's another one. I think Rayman is one that he's been around for a long time. I think you can make a story out of it. It doesn't have to be anything. I mean, they're doing that with. We're seeing that with like Devil May Cry, right? Devil May Cry. Like I enjoyed Devil May Cry. I actually also don't know jack shit about Devil May Cry, so this is like a very digestible version for me for it, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But like the other like I was gonna say, like by making them, a story, it doesn't have to be anything super. Banjo Kazooie is another one I want to see, especially. The one thing I love about Banjo Kazooie is they talk so much shit in that fucking game. Like that game, like just sit there and listen, but without like not like that, but like just like the sub, reading up about bottles
Yeah.
and Kazooie, they just shoot shit at each other constantly. Oh,
I don't know. I guess because I know the field is vast and there's so much material. I really wish that as an industry, we would be a little more open minded and we get collabs akin to like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, right? I mean, in the 90s, like,
Ready Player One.
well, obviously, and that was amazing.
Yeah,
That was amazing. But I think, like, a platform version of that where it's,
yeah.
because a movie nobody talks about now, the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, when that came out, I think around the pandemic, that movie was fantastic. It took the idea of like Saturday morning cartoons and put this spin on it where like people were bootlegging the cartoons, and that's the whole like criminal ring. And it's almost, I don't know, like just the idea and how they like that's good writing.
Mhm.
And seeing that in gaming form where it's like you take, I don't know, 10 of the most popular platformers of all time, and then you create a narrative that fits to that universe. I would much rather see them do that than each of them getting their own individual story. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's going to cause burnout.
Well, yeah, it probably would. But like it, I could see it in some regards where it's like, let's say Spyro, right? Like I'm gonna use Spyro for example. I start with Spyro the first one, we're bringing the characters, blah blah blah. And then let's say you do Spyro 1 and Spyro 2 or something like that. I don't know. Like it's Enter the Dragon kind of thing, right?
Right.
And then the third one is Skylanders. So you start bringing in Spyro, because Spyro is a part of Skylanders. So you start bringing in things like Skylanders, making like, whether it's like a TV series or something like that. I think Crash could be a TV show. Like they don't all have to be movies, right?
Yeah.
They don't all have to be movies. Like that's why I think some of them, like Katamari Damacy, would be hilarious in like 10 minutes, like Robot Chicken like skits.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be funny with it, like a person being like, "Oh my god, my day can't get any worse," and just gets sucked up by the ball, and he's like, "This could be worse."
So like a secret level almost, like
like another version of Secret Level.
Yeah.
Some of the big ones are going to get movies. Yeah. Donkey Kong will get a movie. Like we know that's happening. I believe that's on its way. Yeah. It makes sense. One, because man, you can't show the DK crew and then like just not do anything with it. Right. I think that obviously Mario is getting theirs. Sonic will be getting another one. Sonic 4 is getting one.
Yeah.
I thought Sonic 3 was actually really good.
It was sensational.
Yeah.
What is one that you would mind never seeing in movie format? Like any game.
Would have said Legend of Zelda, but fuck whatever. Like something like Infamous or Prototype. I don't want to think that it's not going to be as exciting to me, just due to the fact of like there's so much you can do with those games. I just don't. I mean, granted, it's like watching a Marvel one, but I don't know if I want to see that. Kirby. I don't ever want to see like we already got the TV show. I'm fine with TV show. Leave it there. Don't fucking touch it. Like
Fair.
I don't want to see. I've said this in my last podcast. I'll say this one. I don't want to see a Super Smash Bros. Movie. I don't want to see one.
I feel like that's where we're going, though.
I don't. I know. Don't tell me that.
I feel like, I mean, you got Mario. You got now Link.
Mario, Link. What you have another universe Sonic, which they probably would cross over.
You got not right away. One set up.
Mario, and then they all fight Master Hand. Like I get it. It's a tournament thing. I don't want to see it. I don't know why. I don't want to see it. That's just me. I just don't think I would be very enjoyable.
I think my choice, so I won't even voice it. It's okay.
No, you voicing it. Like I voiced mine.
Elden Ring.
Are we getting an Elden Ring TV show?
I don't want to see it.
I don't either. I feel like they're going to try to fill in the gaps on stuff, and it's not going to turn out well because at least to me, part of the interesting allure of Elden Ring is the fact that we're getting all this knowledge like 4th, 5th, like all this stuff really happened long before us.
Yes.
And so it's like you have people, telling stories about what happened, and we're like, oh, okay, like most of your lore bits drop from trinkets, trinkets or whatever. Like example is the finding out that Radagon is Marika's Radagon.
Yep.
And like that's weird. Is it explained how this happened? No. But I'm also fine with that because it's like it leads to part of that mysticism.
Right. Skyrim is in that vein too.
Yep.
Don't need it. Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring, Kingdom Hearts doesn't need a movie.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Oh God, no. What'd be interesting? I can see them doing one. Sekiro.
That I could see.
I could see
that. I could see. Yeah. Definitely.
But like, yeah, that's the only Souls one. I would want to say Armor Core, but like, I feel like before you do Armor Core, you need to fucking do Gundam. Like Gundam deserves.
They had Armor Core in Secret Level.
That's fair, but like a full on like how like Pacific Rim was,
Yeah,
like just flying all over, blowing stuff up.
yeah.
I think
That's fair.
that's the fun ones. That's the fun
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
yeah, I think like there's a lot they could go, but yeah, there's some of them that I couldn't imagine. I want mutant football or
Mutant
Hydra.
Football League.
Yeah, dude, I want that in the movie. That'd be fun. Or Hydro Thunder would be a really. I could see them being. I mean, there's not like there's a story. You just make up the stuff as you go along. Like you just using boats and you're boosting. Like I don't like. That's the whole concept. That's kind of like
They haven't done well with that though. When you give them creative freedom,
it's because they don't have
like
any rate. Like I'm just saying. Like I'm not saying that I'm the greatest writer, but like I got some.
you heard it today, folks.
Like another one that okay. So I don't know if you want to see this or not. Cyberpunk. I would like if they did it right. If they did this, I would love to see an anthology series, like different aspects that go on in the cyberpunk world. Because we already got we already have literally
isn't like Edge Runners, isn't that?
Was Edge other than anthology? I never watched it. I just thought it was like a streamlined, actual straight through story. I need that.
Yeah, Edge Runners. There you go.
Yeah.
I watched like 2 episodes of it because I was watching Laser. What was it, Laser Hawk? And that was way funnier to me. It was it took precedent. I never went back, but I don't know. I feel like that gets compared to
Army Men.
Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers is basically. I know. I had some people like Conkers needs to be a movie, and I'm like, no, the fuck it doesn't. Conkers is one of those that is funny, but it's also funny back in the time that it's at.
Yeah, Conkers humor isn't really. It's not translating.
Another one is honestly, Perfect Dark.
I've been waiting for Perfect Dark to.
If you're not going to do a fucking TV show, do a movie or do a movie. I was really excited when I saw that first trailer, and then I found out it wasn't even real, and I was so pissed because I was like, dude, this looks great. This looks awesome. I'm excited for this. And then they're like, nah, this is just funny. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck you too. Like, you got my hopes up and you shattered them.
Before she got the Aaron Easterns treatment, like I really love Joanna Dark more than 007. People always say 007 was like one of the best shooters. Perfect Dark, hands down, all day, over GoldenEye. And then they came out with Perfect Dark. What was it, 360 or whatever it was? That was not good. Not devs. I know you tried. I know you did, but it was in development hell. Development hell.
That happens a lot.
Duke Nukem.
I don't know if I could ever see Duke. Actually, no, scratch that. I could see them doing a Duke Nukem TV show, but at the same time, I watched Peacemaker, and it's basically the same thing.
Right.
If you guys want a Duke Nukem TV show, just go watch Peacemaker. But there's a lot of games that could be honestly Legends of Dragoon. I could see them doing something like that. I don't think they'd ever cross because that's too big of a story.
Yeah,
but they also love to. I mean, we got Monster Hunter. So like the biggest question though, I always say about these because Borderlands also, as much as I love like seeing these, like talking about these, Borderlands had me with this one question: why? Like nobody was asking for a Borderlands movie. They were asking for a Borderlands 4. But like they were not asking for a Borderlands movie, you know what I mean? And so when you start going, I'm like, I get it. Like to some extent, you're trying to make this story that's digestible, blah blah blah. Doesn't help that Randy Pitchford does not stop. That man, I was talking about. We were talking about transparency in the last podcast, and I was like, there is a point where you were just too honest, and I'm like, Randy, you were just too honest sometimes. But it just made me wonder, like, who is this for? Because I was like, this isn't for me. Is this for like the people who don't really know? like Borderlands very much because
it was crossover appeal, and you can tell by the cast that they chose, because they're always the I call them like the franchise killers. They always put big names to a project thinking that's going to bring people in. But you piss off the current fans, and the people that you're trying to bring in couldn't care less.
right, and it's not big enough. I think
Right.
that's the thing. Like Borderlands is a big franchise, but
Yeah.
it's a niche franchise. It's not
Yeah.
big enough for to carry just regular, just a bunch of regular Joe Schmoes into there.
Yeah.
I thought Borderlands would have been better as an anthology series of just different kind of like, because that world is so vast.
Yeah.
So much stuff you could do with like this happened during this Vault Hunter. You know what I mean? Where we follow different Vault Hunters.
It would have been okay if they just literally followed the story, because it's been long enough now to where like the original fans, a lot of people don't even remember Brick was a character. Like he didn't carry over like Mordecai and Roland and Lilith. Like those they transition, but like there's stories in Borderlands that you could revisit and rewrite as anthologies, and even follow some of the original Vault Hunters. You can tell through like their perspectives. But they picked fan favorites and slapped them all together in this fictional setting that never happened, in a story that made not, like, I don't even remember what the movie was about.
The movie was basically about them trying to this guy who's evil guy named Atlas, who never existed.
Like of the Atlas Corporation?
Yeah, there's a dude whose name's Atlas. He's part of the
Okay.
Atlas Corporation. And he hires Lilith to go find Tiny Tina because he thinks that she is the key to unlocking the vault. But nope, it's actually Lilith because she's actually the siren. Surprise. Like, oh, and also Tiny Tina has a protector, which is Krieg, because yep. And then Tanis knew Lilith's mother, which I will say, Tanis played by Jamie Lee Curtis was actually like, that was a good casting choice. Like I can see an older Tanis, and an older Tanis is just Jamie Lee Curtis. Like it is. And the one thing that got me was also with Cate Blanchett. I like Cate Blanchett. We know Cate Blanchett is an incredibly accomplished actress.
Yeah.
But this wasn't the role for her.
Right.
It wasn't the role for her. It wasn't the role for Kevin Hart.
As Roland?
As Roland.
Like, why?
I'm not gonna lie to you. As a person,
Roland's like 6'5".
As a person who chose Roland, and like I went through the trauma of watching him get popped by fucking Jack. This was more disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I just I was just not, this was just not a, I also, they started off immediately with like Roland rescuing Tiny Tina, and then Tiny Tina makes a short joke. And at that point, I just was like, that's what I'm in for.
Yeah.
Like, it just was not a good movie. And like overall, I didn't have a good time. I didn't have a good experience. And I thought I wouldn't have anything like that. And then I watched Until Dawn. And that was bad. That was a bad movie. Like I am really mad because this is not Until Dawn. Like, oh, I think that's what gets me mad. At least there's an attempt with Borderlands, right? This is not even this. This is Until Dawn in name only, and a few like moments, like, hey, you know that guy? Yeah, you know this person, like that. And I'm like, I was so upset at this, and because it didn't work. It didn't make sense of why, like, they tried to shoehorn. I don't care if you care about spoilers.
I watched it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They didn't care about the doctor, the doctor at the end of it, who's from the actual game. There's just some really dumb decisions. Like, I like decisions where, like, they purposely, like, let's say they get misled over to the place.
Yeah.
Nah, they just went willingly, and as soon as they cross that line, I'm crossing back out. Like, nah.
It's weird that it's not raining here, but it's literally,
let's go. That's why? Because they didn't have one of us there to tell them to leave. Like,
I think of like my favorite horror movie of all time is Cabin in the Woods because it pokes fun at all the nonsense that goes on, right? And gives a reason to why. And I think of all the things that we would have noped out of when it came to these stories.
Mhm.
And in no shape, form, or fashion would I have let that lady talk me into going up there. They had like 5 warnings before they even got to the cabin. And
Oh yeah,
nobody's making sense of it. Also, like, where's my Wendigo? Because I wanted that. I wanted
yeah.
that. It,
They were just zombies. Like they were like, oh, they're turning into Wendigos, and then I was like, oh, okay, because the girl's sister turns into a Wendigo. That's not a Wendigo. Like if you ever played Until Dawn,
mhm, yeah,
that's a Wendigo.
yeah,
Well, as much as it is, like I'm not gonna lie, that thing, the way that it moved unnaturally, bouncing everywhere,
yeah, yeah,
like that was scary to me. I'm not gonna lie. There was some terrifying moments in Until Dawn,
yeah.
but it just bothered me a lot that this was not an Until Dawn part. The part that pissed me off the most, honestly, it was during the second part of the movie where they're like, "It's been 13 days," and I'm like, "The fuck you mean it's been 13 days?" Like I literally just, and so every time you die, it just restarts over, right? It restarts back at 6.
Right,
So I was like, "Oh, we've been
right.
at the 13th day." I'm like, "How is it the 13th day when you rewinded time?" Like,
Movie logic.
so I'm just like, okay. And then like I was like the whole time when they're just showing the clips on the phone of stuff they dealt with,
Yeah,
and I heard someone say this would have best been Dead by Daylight. It would have made so much more sense
yeah,
with all
yeah,
the different kind of monsters and all the other kind
yeah,
of stuff. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, Dead by Daylight. This would have been fine. This isn't Until Dawn. And then you motherfuckers tried to tie it into the fucking game
At the
by having
very end.
the truck at the end, the SUV at the end, pull into the fucking house. And I was like, no, fuck you. I was like, no, I was so mad because I love Until Dawn. I think it's a fantastic game. I think it is. I have it actually. I have it at second of my of all the like supermassive games.
Yeah,
I think actually I was surprised. I think House of Ashes actually became. And I don't know if you played that one, but House of Ashes I thought was.
I watched it.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it
Yeah,
was so cool. Actually, it was the one that I was the least interested in. So like when I saw that I was like, bro, this is some bullshit. But yeah, I just mm-mm,
I
I
think
watched two horror movies. They both sucked.
the way they like kung paoed us at the end, where it's like we'll see you again in the sequel. That
Mhm.
aside, narratively, the story falls apart within the first 15 minutes of the movie. You're watching everybody get set up, and you can call out what's going to happen to people and when. And this is like, even if you don't watch horror movies, they just make it blatantly obvious, but then you're just kind of dragging through just to see what happens and where they tie into the Until Dawn. And like you said, until basically the end of the movie, it's like it's its own thing. Y'all
Mhm.
literally could have slapped another label on this, and I don't think anybody would have been upset. It would have just been its own thing.
You know what also kind of got me with that movie? The
What?
dude that they keep trying to frame as an asshole is the one who's actually making the most logical sense. When they're like, "Well, we need to all stick together," and he's like, "Well, yeah, but like they're trying. Like maybe we should send one. We all know, and if the worst case scenario, we'll just die, and then we'll all just come right back."
Right.
No, that's stupid. And then they like knife him. I was like, "What? There was no reason to do that." I will say the drinking the water thing was like a whole shit movie, but like
The exploding water, that I was like, okay, that's new.
that's video game logic right there. I was like,
I-
oh, he failed the button press. Like, I think it would have been funnier in this movie if they showed the button presses every time they failed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but and also like, and then the dude goes into the house to go save the girl who gets hit by the gas stuff,
yeah, yeah.
right? Which I love that she's just like, oh my god, please don't hit. Like, nah, bro. Like, if I'm shaking the door handle and it's not moving, and I start fighting. Like, start fighting. But then
Fight
the dude
back.
walks in there. He goes in there, and as he goes into the house and he sees the chair rocking on its own, I'm gone. There ain't a door that can lock fast enough. Nah. I was like, these doors are made of wood. I'm going through it. Like, I'm going through. If I can't open it, I'm going through it. And then, like, he turns around, and then the clown's there. Then he picks it up. I hate clowns. And I'm like, I actually, you know what? I'm fine with you dying. I'm not even mad. I'm fine with you dying. Like, I hope you do. And then he does. He ends up dying, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Good. Actually, that's karma for the clown.
Yeah.
But alrighty, man. I appreciate you being here. Like I'm always these what?
I said, God, that movie sucked.
Oh, that movie did suck. Did you see Him, by the way?
Him.
This is the football one.
Football? No,
Yeah.
not yet. Not yet.
I want to
Last
know.
one I watched was really old, but I missed it. It was the 28 Years Later.
Oh, was that good?
So
I've never even seen 28 Days Later.
We just watched it. It was it's getting a TV show, so I guess some people liked it. I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to. Yeah, I got to see. I was gonna go see FNAF tonight. I can barely. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just gonna go. I'm going to lay down. Like, I'm going to bed. Like, but yeah, I was gonna go see FNAF, and I mean, I liked the first one despite its like separation from it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I'll go see the second one, and then they're like, Megan Fox is Chica, and I was like, especially because like you have like Matt Pat and stuff like that, and he's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
Helen Goff is playing Toy Freddy, and I'm like, cool. They're like, Megan Fox plays Chica, and I'm like,
yeah.
all of a sudden, I'm getting flashbacks of Mortal Kombat 1. Like,
yeah.
So you're just like, oh. I hope she does better. Like, I wish all the best. I hope she does better with it.
I'll say it like this. Anything she's been in, I haven't been appalled. She's done her thing. She's Megan Foxed it up. And like, haha, got it. Cool. Whatever. But like Transformers, you go and you know what Transformers is gonna be. And I was just like, okay,
yeah,
cool.
It's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't hate her. I don't hate her. Like, I'm not one of those people who be like, oh my god, I hate this celebrity. Like, she's never done anything that's like made me be like, oh my god, I think she's a terrible person.
Yeah.
But like, I just never been a fan of whatever movie she's in.
That's
like
true.
If every movie she's in, it's not like she's not the center theme of it anyways. Like, and like, I know like people are like, well, but Jennifer's Body, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you, the movie's not nearly as good as you guys think it is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you guys watch it when you were teenagers, okay? It's like when like it's like a memeable horror movie. It's like a horror memeable version of Mean Girls. Like,
yes.
You know, is Mean Girls a good movie? Not really. But is it memeable? Fuck yes. And at the end of the day, if your movie can't be good, then it better be memeable.
I have fond memories around the movie. I wouldn't say the movie itself.
Yeah. There's little clippets and stuff like that. Like, one day I was like, yeah, it's so fetch. And I'm like, I'm gonna make it a thing. So, but alrighty, man. The best thing I want to do before we send off is where can they find you, and just any work that you have that also they can get a hold of as well.
Yeah. So the whole plug. Let's see. Nerdy Bear Studios. We have a website. Check us out. We have a demo out called Hamsterdam. It's game 1 of 5 that we're producing in-house. If you want to try it out, the demo is out for free. We will be holding a contest, TBD. It'll be like 3 rounds. You'll have to be a streamer, somebody that streams. But essentially, we have a prize pot put aside for the demo. So practice up. It's literally just capture the briefcase. And right now, we're trying to get to 1,000 downloads. That's the current metric for that. Again, it's free on itch.io. You can donate if you want to. You don't have to. We have a backer kit up. That's also on our link tree. All these links that I'm mentioning, if you follow us on social media, if you go to our website, the link tree is all there. Check out the backer kit, which is basically Kickstarter for games. We have a backer kit up. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers there. It's free to follow. Basically, instead of building a huge marketing budget, that's how us indie studios get around doing this, is people that show support and show interest. This builds the very first game of our universe. If you like what we have going on, if you like anything, if you like my shirt, like, just give us a follow. It's free. And that is the most pressing of what we're doing now. We're restructuring the studio because up to this point, I've been paying out of pocket. And as you can imagine, 28 people times X years, it's drained me to the point of no return. So we'll be moving to a revenue share model, which is essentially, people will work for profit. Whenever the game comes out and profits, it's split, amongst however many people worked on it times your contribution. January 1st, we'll be going through that. So a lot of people that applied expect that phone call. And if you're interested in working on games in the writer's room, programming, whatever your trade is, we could use the help. So we're going to that model, and it's open invitation. Of course, we're not just hiring everybody. If you draw doodles on Newgrounds, like
I'm just saying, I'm an expert stickman fighter.
Hey, look. So that's kind of the major changes that were happening now. Because I am still in school. I'm working on my PhD, for the people that don't know. And I need time. I need to open up my schedule and life for me and my family. And those are the changes that need to happen to keep the studio alive and thriving. So any of that you're interested in, just give us a follow, put in an application. We're here. We'll be here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And for myself, you can catch me at Twitch, YouTube, of course. I mean, that's how you're watching these. Like TikTok, that's where I'm probably the most active. I'll be doing probably another live tonight when I get a chance. Once I wake back up. I'm still exhausted. I have an Instagram. I don't really do a whole lot on there, but you'll see other clippets and stuff. Same with TikTok, you'll see clippets. I have a thread as well. I thought Threads was going to become something, but it never did. So it's just I don't go onto it. I also have a Twitter, but I don't ever use it because it's bad. Yeah, it's where the bad people go.
Blue Sky has turned into that as well.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Well, where you get to cast your opinion, that's where it goes. So it becomes whoopsies. It's bio-racist. But with all that being said, everyone, I'm Taylor from Afro Fish OG, and I'll catch you all in the next one.